achieve success with global.media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with global.media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Excellent.
Yes, hello, everybody. It's another Friday again where we are intentional, where we are passionate about spreading positivity to every corner of the earth, one person at a time. So, for those who are joining us, want to say a big welcome to another Positivity Live show. And we are streaming on different social media platforms. And I believe that for anyone who are joining us, you know how we do it. Let us know that you are here. Tell us where you are joining us from. Drop in the comments and tell us, okay, probably you're from the US, you're from the UK, you're from Nigeria, you're from wherever you are. Let us know that you are here. Drop a comment because we want to shout you out to our global audience. This event is streamed to thousands of people all over the world, and you get the opportunity where people get to know you and see you, that you are participating in a live event and that you are intentional about personal growth. So I want to say big welcome, and I hope your week has been great. If not, for the fact that you are here, I assure you it's going to be a great day and a great weekend awaiting you. All right, we already have Mr. Keifer join us already. Say hello, everyone. I'm joining in from the United Kingdom. Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Keifer. Happy Friday. We are so excited to have you join us today. Amazing. And guys, you know how we do it. If you know of somebody who needs more positivity in their life, in their business, in their relationship, and in all areas of their life, invite them, share this event, repost it. Let's get more people involved so we can be intentional about positivity. And today we have a very interesting topic, the power of accountability. I tell you, each and every one of us we need to be accountable. Accountability is part of personal and professional growth, and we all need to embrace it. And I tell you, when you become accountable, your life hits differently. So I'm very excited to discuss this topic with you. And you know how we do it. Come share with us. Come share with the world. How are you staying accountable, and how has accountability benefited you as a person? Join us because what you have to share today has the power to inspire somebody, to encourage somebody, to give somebody hope and faith to keep living. Because each and every one of us, we have our own unique story. So bring in your story, let's inspire the world together with that amazing story of yours. All right, we have for me in the house. Say hello, everyone, joining in from Edo State, Nigeria. Amazing. So good to have you back for me. We are excited to have you join the show, and it's so great. And you know, I'm not always alone by myself. So for those who don't know me, you're meeting me for the very first time. You're like, who is this guy on the heart? And he's talking. My name is Zion Enogeru. You're Mr. Positive Energy, a man on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth. For me, I help entrepreneurs and businesses to embrace the power of positivity because I believe that in positivity, there's always endless possibilities for each and every one of us. So if you want to skyrocket your business with a positive mindset, you want to improve your life, you want to train your employees on the need to be intentional about positivity, do it to reach out to me. Let's go on a journey of positivity together. And I tell you, on this journey is filled with possibilities that will blow your mind. And I'm not alone today. I already have one of my co-hosts with me on stage. I know we all know him, but if you don't know him, I'm sure you'll be wanting to know him because they call him the living Godfather. Mr. Enin, happy Friday. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, everyone. Hello, Mrs. Z. How you doing? Hello, Funmi. We'll see you as well. Welcome, sir. Great to be here as always, Mrs. Z. We missed last week, first one ever. I think it feels like the first one ever. It's not true. I'm sure we've missed one or two here and there. At least individually we have, but you're always here, so
Yeah.
It's rare when you're not here. So that explains last Friday, my friends. So it's great to be back again. So, and a very important topic in this scheme, in the conversation around positivity. So, I'm excited to share. I'm excited to see what our friends come up with. Those who don't know me, I am Eni Osong. Yeah, I'm still the same Eni Osong. And what do I do? Oh, okay. So my existence is about helping people to grow their business. That's what I really exist to do. There's many ways I do that. So I tend to help people to grow their business. First of all, by making you famous. I want people to know who you are, what you do, your unique solutions, how you help. I want people to ultimately get to know you, like you, trust you, and want to work with you if they need your help. So there's I guess two main ways we do that. We'll do what most marketing agencies do. So the things that I enjoy, the website design, I got techies who do that, helping you write your book. I've got people who do that for me too. And so the bit I like doing is events like this. I help you organize them, plan them, set them up, fill them, and also co-host them if you want me to share some of my insights on your topics. Otherwise, I can do my work in the background and let you shine like the star you are, right? The second thing I do, as I mentioned, is helping people to write and publish their books. And so my team will help you write your book. If you need a writing coach, so we've got writing coaches. We need editors. We've got those too. Proofreaders. We've got those cover designers. So we've got a team to help you create your book. My part is to help you, one, to create a plan that's strategic and is going to work, and also to help you to publish your book. So I make your book basically look good. I turn it from a manuscript into a book. And then also I will help you launch your book, market your book. But the part that really excites me in all of that is the launch and making you an international best-selling author. So the last person we worked with, last book launch we did, was with Coach David. Hopefully he'll be here as well. And so he got 17 awards for his book. So, his book, Prophetic Ecosystem and Dynamics. So 17 awards means that there's 14 bestsellers in 5 countries. There's number 1 bestseller in France, in UK, in US, in Australia, and Canada. It's like an amazing dream, right? It really is. So, and also he got 3 Hot New Release awards in number 1 Hot New Releases in Australia as well. That's what I do, my friends. I love life. I love these events, of course. I love to hear your thoughts. If you want to join us, please do go in the comments and do join us. So you're welcome to join the stage. We do want to hear from you. Otherwise, Mrs. Z, we just we're going to talk at you for the whole hour and a half. Trust me, even longer, right? Don't let us do that. Join the studio. Come and share your thoughts. Because you are the one that adds. You add interesting parts to our conversation. So that's me, Mrs. Z. I can't wait to explore the topic in detail.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Eni. We appreciate you for all you do and how you make every one of us famous. And like Mr. Eni has said, you have something to share, probably about your business, about what you're doing, how you're making an impact. As you introduce yourself, you can kindly tell us to the world. Because one thing that we do on this stage is that we help you stay visible. Not just you, but also your business. Like I said earlier, this event is streamed to thousands of people globally. And we give you an opportunity where you can come in to introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and chime in on the conversation today. So don't let that opportunity pass you by, because these opportunities like this are things that people get to pay for before they get to speak. But we are all about making an impact. We are all about making a huge difference. We are all about supporting each other to grow. So you want the world to know you, you want to introduce yourself to the world, or you want to introduce the value that you create to people, to join us on stage, and we'll be so excited to have you. I'm sure Mr. Eni will drop the link soon. in the comment section. So that for persons who want to join, you can send me a personal DM on LinkedIn or send any DM as well, and we'll directly send you the link that can allow you to join us on stage like this so that we can share with the world who you are, what you do, and the value you create, and then just chip in on the conversation today. I believe today's topic is something that we all can actually resonate with, and the power of accountability, because accountability is a concern for us. Accountability is important for our personal life, for our professional life, for us to become who we are. All right, Wendy is in the building. Hi, Wendy. It's so good to have you. Positivity power indeed. Together, we bring that power into reality as we are intentional about positivity and spreading it to every corners of the earth, one person at a time. Yes, a LinkedIn user, I think this should be Christiana. I hope so. Because she's always showing LinkedIn user. Whenever she drop a comment, she say hello, Annie, hello, Zion. Uh, Hopefully, you can get to tell us your name and where you are joining us from. Just guys, keep dropping a comment. If you are watching us live, drop a comment. Tell us where you are joining us from. We want to shout you out. We already have the United Kingdom joining us. We already have someone from Nigeria already. I think Reading and Wendy is all the way from the US, if I'm not mistaken. But welcome. Thank you. Lindy user, welcome as well. Great guys, if you're joining us, just drop a comment. We would love to shout you out and let the world know that you are here with us. And if you want to be part of us on stage, do it. To use the link, come up the backstage, and we'll be so excited to have you as you share with the world who you are, the value you create, and then chime in on the topic of today. Well, the power of accountability. I must tell you, when we were preparing for this topic, it's something that really, really resonates with each and every one of us because it takes a whole lot to be accountable. The accountability there is just beyond the words. People say, be accountable, be accountable, be accountable. For some persons, they don't know what it really means. And for some persons, they don't know the benefit of accountability. While for some others, they don't even know how to stay accountable. And I tell you, today's event is for you if you fall in any of those categories. We're going to be sharing with you on how accountability has changed our life as professionals and how you can stay accountable as a person. Because if you want to grow professional, if you want to grow on the personal level, if you want to experience growth all the way around, there is need for you to stay accountable. Because accountability is very, very important. I'm just going to share with you briefly on my own personal experience of what accountability has really helped me to become the better version of myself. On how accountability has really helped me to become better. Because, for me, I used to do things and just do it. Yes, I do it for the sake of it. I do it because it has to be done. I don't track my progress. I don't know what it really means to be accountable. I just do it all by myself. But when I understood the power of accountability, it really, really changed my life. And I tell you one thing that staying accountable has really done for me, it has allowed me to take ownership. Ownership of my action, ownership of my decision. So whatever I'm doing right now, I don't deny the fact I'm the one that did it. Before I used to, if I do this thing, if it's a mistake, I'm like, it's not me. Why? Because I'm scared of what people might say. I'm scared of people's reaction. I'm scared that people might talk on me because why I did it. But since I've mastered the art of accountability, I've been able to understand that whatever I do, it's on me. It's on me. I have to stay accountable to my action. I have to stay accountable to my decisions. I have to stay accountable to my rules, to the laws that drives my life. Because it's very, very important. I don't do things and place the blame on people and start giving excuses of say, I did this because this person did it. I did this because of the situation. I did not giving excuses for the things I've done. So accountability has really helped me to take ownership of my action, of my decision, and even my words. So when I say things, I say it because I want to say it. And whatever consequences that comes, I stand by my word. Take for example, being a person of integrity. And when you're a person of integrity in a society that we have today, I tell you, a lot of backlash. You're going to get a lot of people fighting you for it. Because people want you to bend the rules. People want you to compromise your standard for their sake. But because I understood that integrity is my decision to make, So whatever consequences that come after my decision, I'm going to take ownership of it. So that's one thing accountability has done for me. It has really helped me to take ownership of myself. And secondly, I mentioned about personal growth earlier. Now, because I'm more accountable, it has allowed me to be more intentional about my growth on a personal level and a professional level. It has really allowed me, you know, to have clear direction and a clear path to where I want to go. So growth does not happen by mistake. That's one of my favorite words. It doesn't happen by mistake. It doesn't happen by chance. So we have to be intentional about the growth that we want and how we want to grow. And staying accountable to my growth level has really helped me, to become a better person on a personal level and also on a professional level. I tell you, I can go on and on when it comes to the benefits, and because accountability is priceless. It's priceless. And one thing that accountability has done for me, it has really helped me to stay more focused. More focused. Having a goal, having a sense of purpose, having a sense of direction, it allows me to take away every distraction that might come. Because I tell you, on the journey of life, distractions will come. Distractions from people, distraction from things, distraction from, extra activities. But because I understood the power of being accountable, it allows me to stay focused on my goals. So I'm not giving excuses of the reasons why I've not been able to achieve my goal. Instead, I'm looking for ways to achieve it. I'm looking for ways to improve. I'm looking for ways to be better. And another thing that accountability has really helped me to do, that's really helped me to stay more focused and driven towards my goal. Because I'm accountable, because I'm focused, because I have ownership of my decision, of my action, of my words, I stay motivated because I have something I'm pursuing. So now I'll be able to share with us some of the benefits and some of the important that I've experienced when it comes to accountability. Now, the next question is, how do you stay accountable? How do you stay accountable? It's easy to say, oh, this is the benefit, this is the reason why you have to be accountable. But then many persons might not really know how they can stay accountable to their action, to their work, and to everything they do. If there's one thing I've learned about accountability that has really helped me stay grounded and stay focused is you must have a goal. Accountability is only relevant when you have something you're pursuing, when you have something that drives you, when you have something you are working towards. So you must have a goal. So you cannot say you are accountable when there is nothing you are pursuing. So what are you accountable for? What are you accountable towards? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. So for anyone who is having challenges to stay accountable, you want to experience the power of accountability, you must first have a goal. Have something you're pursuing. Have something that drives you. Have something that makes you wake up every morning. Have something that makes you show up every day of your life. Because having a goal is very, very important. If you want to stay focused, what are you staying focused on? If you want to stay determined, what are you staying determined on? If you want to stay motivated, what are you staying motivated on? That's the reason why you must have a goal. Have a goal for your life, have a goal for your future, have something you are pursuing. And another way that you can be able to learn and stay accountable is having an accountability partner. I cannot overemphasize this point enough. Having somebody who can question your action, who can question your words, who can question your doing, who can always put you in a hot seat. Whenever my accountability partner reach out to Zion, have you done this? I'm like, oh, sometimes we can get so complacent, we can get so confident, we can get so comfortable in ourselves. And like, okay, I will do this later. Procrastination can creep in most of the time. But when you have somebody you are accountable to, somebody who will always ask you, why are you not doing this? Or why are you doing this? Why are you making this decision? There's somebody who will always put you on your toe. It's very, very important. Having people in your life who are pushing you towards your growth, who are pushing you towards being a better version of yourself, it's priceless. So for you to stay accountable, most of the time people will like, oh, I'm accountable to myself. Well, it can be good, it can be working for you, but for in the long run, for sustainability's sake, for posterity's sake, it's not enough for you to be accountable for yourself. Have somebody you are accountable to. because sometimes we think all we know is all there is. But when we begin to have an accountability partner, they give you a different perspective. They give you a different um, view of the situation or things that you are doing. So having an accountability partner, it's very important. I do. It's not just one. I have several of them. I currently we are working on our book, and we always have Mr. Annie or Jimmy like, oh, when are we meeting on our book? What are we doing? So having people to always question you. Sometimes we want to have a meeting. I feel so tired. But then when I see the message, oh guys, we are meeting in a few minutes, I'm like, okay, I have to be in this meeting, I have to be here. Any asking me, Zion, how are you working? What is going on? What's happening? So it just puts you in a place where you are always aware. So if one thing that accountability partner will do for you is self-awareness. You're always aware. They always put you in a place for you to remember even when you forget. And one way on how you can stay accountable is tracking your progress. Tracking your progress. So whatever you are doing, you are achieving, you are working towards your goal. Goals doesn't just happen overnight. Achieving your goal or getting to that place that you want to be doesn't happen overnight. It takes a due process. So the ability for you to track your progress is very, very important. And for me, how do I track my progress? I write down, I have a journal. I write things down. Maybe I have a 21 day to achieve a thing. I have first quarter to achieve a thing. Like this second quarter, I already have a goal I want to achieve. Getting my certification, making progress in writing my book. So I already have a timeline for these things. I'm like, okay, in the next 3 months, I'm working on this. In the next 3 months, I'm working on this. So I write things down. So whatever it is that you want to do, or you want to be accountable, be able to write it down on a notes, or maybe on a spreadsheet, to be able to check on the daily things, what you do. And also, we have app that can track records. So you must be able to track your record to know that you are making progress. And lastly, I will end with this. When it comes to being accountable, for yourself and to people, there is need for you to celebrate your wins. If there's one thing I've learned about accountability and even tracking your progress, it's the little wins you think are little, they're the one that compounds to become the bigger wins that you want. So the ability for you to celebrate your wins, you made a progress on your journey to achieving your goal, celebrate your wins. There's a milestone, no matter how small it is, learn to celebrate it. And I always tell people, because sometimes we can easily say, oh, this is too small to be celebrated. There is no success too small not to celebrate. There is no wins too small not to celebrate. Like I said earlier, these little wins, this little success are what compounds. And because they compound, they become the stepping stone, the driving force, the motivating factor that will push you towards the goal that you want to achieve. Now, there's a whole lot to be shared today when it comes to accountability. And I believe that I'll be able to share with you the benefits that's benefited me and how I'll be able to stay accountable. And I'm sure we've all learned from this. And like anyone who wants to join us in stage, you want to be part of the conversation, you want to share with us how you are staying accountable and how accountability has become a huge advantage for you. Feel free, join us on stage. We'll be so excited to have you to be part of the conversation. Now, as I was speaking, we have one of our co-hosts join us all the way from the United States, King Jamie. I call him the King because he is the King. He's doing so much to help job seekers all over the world. So I'm just going to pass the mic to him now so he can introduce himself, and then we'll pass the mic to Mr. Yamin, then the conversation can get. So King Jamie, the mic is yours, brother.
Awesome. I appreciate it. My apologies for showing up a little bit late today, guys. I got to block my schedule out a little bit better, and but I'm excited to be here. I was haven't been here the last couple of weeks because had some vacation stuff going on, and just feeling very refreshed and glad to be back. So yeah, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. As Zion mentioned, I'm coming from the United States, right outside of Chicago, Illinois, about an hour away from the big city of Chicago. And what I do is I am a career coach, and I help people every day with their resume writings, with building resumes. I help people with interview practice, and I help people create brand new LinkedIn profiles to help them become more visible. I have my own companies called Jam Sessions with Jamie, and I've been doing this now for close to 3 years now on my own. I've worked with about 550 different job seekers over these past 3 years, and I've gotten many of those people into new roles, and at the very least, getting them more traction on their job searches, right? We're getting to the point in the year where hiring is starting to pick up. So, I've been pretty busy with just helping people really get more interviews and helping people tell their story a certain way. And the goal is to ultimately get more people hired and get people to take down their green open to work banners. So that's a little bit about me and what I do. I love what I do. Like I said, it's a passion of mine to get people hired. And I'm sure there's people on this call who are maybe looking for a job themselves, right? Or maybe looking for a career change. So if anybody is not connected with me, right now, definitely send me a connection request or at least follow my page so you can kind of see some of the things I'm talking about when it comes to job searching. And I'd love to meet people and even review your resume if it's something you're interested in and want to look at career coaching. I'm more than happy to have a conversation. So we got some great people in here. Obviously, we got Faith is in here. I saw her comment in here. Faith, good to see you here, coming from Nigeria. I love it. We got Marvelous in here as well, joining us from Nigeria as well. So we got a lot of people from all over the world, right? Which is great. I mean, every one of these calls, people are coming from everywhere, which is what the whole point of this call is, to bring people together. So I love to see that. And then I saw Linda in here as well. Good to see you again, Linda. I know we recently connected as well. So, and you comment on a lot of my stuff. So just so glad to see you in here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Annie. So I'm not sure where we're at in the conversation. I'll tell a little bit more about what accountability means to me and holding that power as well. But I want to pass it over to Annie so he can share his thoughts here. And then I'll be sharing mine here shortly. So Annie, go ahead, my friend.
Awesome. Have we worked out who LinkedIn user is? I still haven't worked out who it is yet. No, I can't see it. Oh, no idea. Anyway, welcome, Jamie. How are you doing? So I'm glad you joined us. That's a good timing as well. Look, when it comes to this topic of accountability, I think this is one of the most important tools for us, who practice mindfulness, who practice positivity. I think it's not enough to just think positive thoughts. It's not enough to wish that good things happen. As Mr. Zion said, there comes a point when someone has to take action. You see, those who are successful, those who achieve big things, taking responsibility, which is one end of being accountable, is key. Yeah, I can't be working with mindfulness and positivity in mind if, as Zion said, I leave things and blame others. Oh, it's not my fault it didn't happen. The economy was bad. Which is just the same as saying, oh, someone else didn't do it. They didn't do it, so it didn't happen. I think if we're serious about using positivity in our lives, we must learn to take responsibility and be accountable. Here's the difference. Okay, now we could be using two words. The difference is simply this: responsibility is more related to the person who does the doing of the task. Yeah. Whereas the accountability refers to the results, the outcomes. Like I say, if you're gonna live with positivity, I guess in our small businesses, some of the people like Jamie and I, we have to be both responsible and accountable. We can't blame anyone else, because frankly, the world does not care. If it's not done by us, it's not gonna happen. If our clients don't do their part, it's not gonna happen. But I want you to think for a second. Someone comes to me, someone comes to Jamie, they say, right, I need your service. Of course, we know the reality, Jamie. You're not going to say to them, right, here is the way this works. Here's the plan. I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to do this for you. And we're going to end up the results you want, right? Now, we ask the question, if we don't get the results we want, whose fault is it? Yeah. but so then I would say, when we live with positivity, we don't want to. It's not about apportioning blame. It is about internalizing the goal, the plan. It's about, and we buy into the work we're doing. We want you to win at all costs, right? So even when our clients don't do what's everything that they're meant to do, we'll find a way to get the results that we want, that you want, that you're paying us for. That's true account. That's what business leaders do, right? They find a way. I'm not saying, like, of course, if you worked with us and did your part, if you took some responsibility, and also if you were accountable for your results from your side, everything works much easier for everyone, right? And that's the point. We're all now, because ultimately we're all to blame. But we never want to get to that stage where we have to blame anyone. What we want is the results you want. That's what changes lives. That's what's going to move the world, right? And so when we learn to take accountability, then magic happens, almost like magic. It's that suddenly, from my end, you find that you have, you think about what we're trying to do much more deeply. And again, in positivity, in mindfulness, thinking about the situation you're trying to resolve, thinking about what the results you're trying to achieve, having that vision is crucial, right? If I'm accountable, then I will make sure I think doubly hard, triply hard, right? We think all day, many times in a day, about what we're trying to achieve. And then, when we think about things that deeply, when we're that brought in, when we're that attached to it emotionally, on an emotional level, right? We find that others don't find, because we are so driven to get the results that you want, that we want. That's where accountability really comes into its own. If we just take things like, oh well, it doesn't matter whether we get there or not. I'm sure we've all done this in the past, right? We've all done this, but we know, oh well, it doesn't really matter. I'll just do it anyway and see what happens. Don't be surprised when things don't go the way we want. Whereas when we truly accept that it's our responsibility, we are accountable, it's our heads on the block if something goes wrong, it changes the experience of whatever that thing is. It changes the result. It changes how the world works for the people that we're here to serve. That's the process of accountability. Ultimately, everything comes down to us. Again, when you think about it, then you realize that little thing that you could have done, it's not just a little thing. It really isn't. Because look, everything I've learned in life, in my many years of this life I've lived, it is that we choose what we do. I call it discretionary. Discretionary tasks that we do, Jamie. Right? We choose whether to make that phone call, whether to do that one more search, whether to send that email. We choose everything. And look, I've had clients in the past where I've decided I don't like you enough. I don't buy into whatever we're doing enough. Sorry, I'm just not going to do that extra thing, right? My discretionary capacity is essentially spent. But for the people for whom I have strong attachment, strong sense of I want this to work. I can give you many examples. So let me give you one. So I'm not talking out of context. So we did a book launch last week for Coach David. I've done book launches so many times. So I'm like, here's the process. Here's how it goes. Here's how it works. We're understood. So I make sure I do my bit because I guarantee the service. I guarantee the results. So I'm going to make you a bestseller. Otherwise, I have to do it on my cost, my time. I'm saying, so that once I know I have to deliver because it's a guaranteed service, it means even if he does not do his part, I must make it work. I must. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pay the price later on, right? Different to just saying, oh, well, let's see what happens, coach. If you get bestseller, oh, well, great. If you don't, then no problem. No, it's a problem to me if we don't get the result we want on that day. So that's where, that's where I think we ought to be coming from, in terms of how we face life. It's our, we're accountable for what happens in our personal lives. We're accountable for what happens in our family lives. We're accountable for what happens in our work lives, in our businesses, to our colleagues, to our communities. Now, it's down to us. I say, with that perspective, the world's a better place. We achieve more, we serve more, and we can truly impact people. General Zion asks, how do we develop accountability? I think the place I would start is simply to say we need to, it starts with accepting on an emotional level that it is down to us. It's our responsibility. We're accountable for the results that's going to happen. And once we do that, we truly buy into that reality. It's down to us. Then everything else kicks into plan, right? And the next stage, it really is that make a plan. Now, I'm not going to say that we must do it all ourselves. We don't have to do it all ourselves. I'm not saying, when I say make a plan normally says what needs doing, when by, and who by, right? Maybe there's some when we delegate, if it's not us doing it, maybe there's other people involved. Maybe they need some support or resources. That also goes in the plan. And then it's about delegating the bits that we're going to let someone else do. Delegating is a skill in itself, right? They have to be very clear what it is we're asking them to do. So now, if you've got a plan, it's so much easier to say, right, here's a plan. Here's your part. Here's my part. Here's everyone else's part. And if you need support, here's what I'm willing to do to help you to deliver. And then, because ultimately it's down to me. If I don't give you the support you need, how are you meant to do the job properly? You can't, can you? So it really is a case of take responsibilities because it is our bag. We're accountable ultimately, and then make a plan. Let's make sure that we do our part genuinely. We do our part with positivity, with enthusiasm, with energy, with belief. So with those, either we're going to succeed or we're going to learn something. So I could talk on, but and this is such a huge topic. Really, those who take responsibility tend to achieve more for everyone.
Wow.
I'll leave Mrs. A.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Eni, for that great share and using your personal experience to also inspire us and share so much nuggets about what it means to be accountable. Indeed, we all have to take responsibility and you have to make it work. It's all on you. You don't have to blame anybody if it doesn't work because you have to make it work. You are the real game changer. You're the MVP. And because you are the MVP, you have to stay accountable and you have to take responsibility for every of the action that you are taking. So thank you so much, Mr. Eni. We really, really want to appreciate it. Yes, we have some persons join us as Mr. Eni was sharing. The LinkedIn user, I think that's Savannah. Yes, Savannah Gunvan. Yes, so we have her here. We have Andrine. Andrine, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. My brother Carrie is in the building. Say great to see you, Zion. Great to see you too, Carrie. We appreciate you. And Adrian is saying hi, Eni. Adrian, great to see you as well. We're having great people join us. And guys, if you're joining us live here streaming, please don't forget, drop a comment. Let us know you are here. Tell us where you are streaming live from so we can be able to shout you out and let the world know that you are here with us. And if you want to be part of the conversation, you want to be part of the stage, you want to share with the world what accountability means to you and how you are staying accountable, the link is up there in the comment section. I just put it up now on the screen. Click on the link. It will take you to the backstage where you can be able to join us so you can share with us your thoughts, your insights, and be part of the conversation. With that being said, I'm going to pass the mic now to King Jimmy, even as he shared his deep insight with us on what it means to stay accountable. King Jimmy, the mic is yours.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much, Zion, for passing over to me. And yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff talked about. And he brought some really good golden nuggets to the conversation. So I'm going to be a little bit more brief. So I'm not repeating the same things as Zion and Annie have both talked about. But I want to hear some good comments or some good stuff from other people in here as well, too. But, I'll talk about accountability, right? From the way I kind of hold my job seekers accountable, when I'm working with them as a career coach, and kind of how I hold myself accountable as a parent to my daughter. So I just want to talk a little bit about those things, right? But, when I think of accountability, I think about kind of really setting clear goals and not just being vague about them, right? So when I'm working with people in career coaching and I'm talking about, people setting goals for themselves on how to grow their network or applying to specific jobs and a certain amount of jobs. A lot of times people will tell me, right, I want to grow my network, or I'm going to apply to some jobs starting Monday. Those are very vague intentions, right? They're very vague. You're not really setting a clear goal of like how many things, what are you going to do to grow your network? What are you going to do to, how many jobs are you going to apply to, right? So when you start becoming intentional with your accountability, you start forcing yourself to do things. So instead of saying things like, I want to grow my network, you might say things like, on Monday, I'm going to add 10 connections to my network, and I'm going to focus on those connections being centered around marketing professionals, right? So you see how I just went from growing my network to talking about how many connections I want and who are the types of connections I'm going to have, right? So you're being very intentional and defining those goals specifically. Same thing like when you're looking for a job. If you say, I'm going to apply to a few jobs, instead say, I'm going to apply to 6 jobs and 2 of those jobs are going to be these type of roles, right? You're setting yourself intentional, and that's what you're doing. Another thing that I would say is, I know Zion talked about this earlier, but obviously having an accountability partner is so important. I wanted to kind of rehash this, right? Because I tell job seekers this all the time. Find like-minded people who are looking for jobs as well, and start a group message with them on LinkedIn, and hold each other accountable when it comes to checking in with your job search and keeping track of who's applying to what jobs, and having conversations and checking in at the end of the day, and making sure that we're all doing the same thing and doing our part to put us in the best position possible when it comes to finding a job. So I think having a partner that can hold you accountable, or a mentor or something, is so important. It's the same thing if you're on a weight loss journey or whatnot, right? And you're trying to get back in the gym and do things like that. You might have a personal trainer who holds you accountable, right? There's a lot of ways for that accountability to happen. And I feel like that, is obviously a game changer when it comes to just staying on task with your goals and things like that. Let's also talk a little bit about, what accountability does from just getting feedback myself. People hold me accountable as a career coach, right? They hold me accountable to getting the notes done on time, getting their resume done in a certain amount of time, getting their coaching sessions done in a certain amount of time. What that accountability does too is, if I'm accountable to someone else, I can get feedback from those people. So anytime I work with somebody and I'm done with my coaching sessions with them, I want to make sure I'm holding myself accountable. And I ask those people, do you feel like these coaching sessions were worth your time? Do you feel like they were worth the investment in yourself? I want to know honest feedback and perspectives of what I can do differently. And I take that to heart, right? It's because I put so much pressure on myself to deliver a good product with people. I put enough pressure on myself to give them the best coaching sessions possible. I want to get that honest feedback from them. And once again, that's holding myself accountable to being the best career coach that I can be, right? So those are a few things from the professional standpoint. I want to just kind of wrap up by talking about a few things that I hold myself accountable as a parent, and I hold my 4-year-old daughter accountable. Accountability plays in all aspects of our lives, right? For instance, like Many of you have seen my posts. You know, I have a 4-year-old daughter named Olivia. I post a lot about her. And I have to be accountable as a parent at the same time holding her accountable at this age. She's starting to get to that point now at her age where she is learning chores, right? And learning to do things and that accountability, right? So some of the things that I do is I teach her that when we say we do something, we do it, right? So if I ask her to clean up her toys or clean up things in her room and she doesn't do it, I need to follow up with her so she hears that we're honoring commitments, right? So like if she hears me, if Erica, my wife, if she says to me, Dad, Jamie, clean the dishes and I don't do it, right? Or if I do it, she's going to say, well, Daddy said he was going to clean the dishes, so I'm going to do that now. If Dad says I have to do this, I'm going to do that now, right? We're holding that accountability, right? And what I do in that accountability is I celebrate those wins, right? Anytime she does something and I hold her accountable and I say, the power of accountability, it really helps her to recognize that she's doing the right things. So if I say, clean up your toys and she does it, I say, Olivia, you remembered to put your toys away just like you promised. Give me a high five, right? And she smiles and she's so excited because I'm acknowledging that accountability piece and that she said she's going to do something, so she does it, right? And when she doesn't do something, at the same time, what do? I say, Olivia, what did I ask you to do? What did I ask you to do earlier today? I asked you to do what? Oh, I asked you to, you asked me to clean my toys. Right. What can we do next time so we remember next time and we do it by this time? So once again, it's registering her that when we ask to do something, we hold that accountability, right? So accountability plays into so many different ways, whether you're in your professional journey, whether you're parenting, or whether you're just holding accountability in many different ways, right? So I wanted to just kind of share some of those things about how I do it from a career coach, and then how I obviously teach my daughter and hold myself accountable as a parent. So I'm going to go pass it back over to Zion, and I see we got some people already coming in here ready to share to share their stories and what this topic means to them. So Zion, back over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jimmy. That was so spot on. And I'm so glad you were able to relate it down to the family on how you are being an example to your daughter. And that's a beautiful analogy because sometimes we get so carried away with the professional side of things and think it's only about the professional side of things. But then accountability starts from the home, starts from the family, starts from the cycle around you to be accountable to your word, to do what you say you will do. It's as simple as that. If you have said you have given a promise, you're giving your word and said, I'm going to do this, make sure you do it. Like making a promise to your children, to your spouse, to your wife, to your husband, to your siblings, or to anybody. That's how accountability starts. And I love the fact that you're teaching your child so young to train them in the way they should grow so that when they are old, they will not depart from it. So the ability for us to inculcate that mindset of accountability at a very young age plays a major role that when they grow up, they become more accountable at all. There's so much to be shared on this topic today. And something that Jamie said, you want to increase your network. It doesn't just happen overnight. You have to be intentional about saying every day I'm going to be adding 10 persons into my network. Now, I could actually resonate with that because for me, I'm on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth, one person at a time. I know it's not going to happen overnight. So what do? I reach out to one person every day, 2 persons, 3 persons, as the case may be. And before you know it, more persons are more aware about positivity. They are more intentional about positivity. And in so doing, we are reaching out to more persons. Even though we are not getting to the millions yet, but for the fact we are getting to the tens, to the hundreds, to the thousands, we celebrate it, we appreciate it, and it helps us to move forward and do great things. So thank you so much, Jamie, for sharing those such deep insights and nuggets with us. We really, really appreciate it. And for anyone who wants to join us, don't forget the link is in the comment section, so you can do it to join us and be part of the conversation. All right, we have Rosemary in the building. Rosemary says, Happy Friday. I'm so glad to be here. Jay said, Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Jay, nice to meet you too. So good to have you here. Chidi is saying, I'm Chidi Bugba. I'm excited to be here. Chidi, we are excited to have you here as well. Marvelous is saying, Um, Accountability gives structure to your growth journey as a professional, and likewise, it shows an indication of integrity and true leadership. Spot on, spot on. Yes, if you cannot join us on stage, probably you're shy, you can put off your camera and just allow your audio and speak. That's allowed as well. Maybe you are not in a comfortable place to speak. You can just drop in a comment. We're going to highlight your comment and let the world know what you are saying. With that being said, we have Joe with us on stage. Joe, happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, guys. I have been good. Sorry, I was just collecting a dog. So as per usual. And yeah, no, I loved all of the points that you guys made, and it really resonated a little bit with what I told Eddie this morning. Here, let me turn my camera on. Hi. So I think that maybe the conversation started because, like, you have to hold yourself accountable if you're writing a book, and just try to put paper and pen, and don't use AI to write your book, and just like really just be yourself. So I guess that's like the accountability to yourself. But I also had a friend staying with me for the last month. Sorry, I was running after my dog. Oh my goodness. So he just got out of rehab and he's sober. And part of his program was he needed an accountability partner to stay with. I think it was more of his parents' rules, but our dads work together. And so I have an extra space that I created in the kind of upstairs of my home that has like a kind of, it's almost like an in-law suite. And so he stayed there with his dog, and I would just yell at him at 6:30 in the morning, like, get your ass up, go to your A meeting, all right? And I had to lock up like any liquor I had in the house. And he's actually quite a wonderful person and is really doing great. So that was kind of my good deed, let's say, to just open my home up to a sort of friend who's now become a good friend. And I think that type of action can show your children or your family, if you hold yourself accountable to being a good person, is really revolutionary to them. Every Tuesday I volunteer at a homeless shelter. It's not a Christmas or Thanksgiving thing. I go and do it, and I make sure they know I went and did it so that I can role model that for them. And certainly I keep them accountable. But also, I just want to tell anyone who's out there listening who feels like some days it's just so hard to be accountable. Like, that's okay. It's really okay. Some days it's like can be really hard. You just have to like look in the mirror and like brush your teeth, and you're like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to hold myself accountable and like just give yourself a big cheesy smile. And if you don't make it that day, you will the next. And so, yeah, another one of my tips is, just do 10 push-ups and say go. And I swear it works. It works every time. I'm like, I don't want to change the laundry. It's all the way in the basement. And I do 10 push-ups and I'm like, yo, all right, you got this, girl. You got it. So anyways, I do think something about being accountable to yourself and to others is really important. And I'm sure everyone out there listening has had a friend cancel on you for dinner the last minute, or didn't show up to your Christmas party, or whatever it may be. And you're kind of like, it doesn't really bother you, but like, if you say you're going to do something, you really should be there. Just like, I am there for my friends through, this kind of live streaming. And I think that shows character in a person if they hold themselves to that level. And one more thing I was going to say, sorry, last thing, was I have a lot of friends who come to me to like ask me for like a connection for a job or whatever. And it's not even like I have necessarily the connection in mind, but I have so many connections on LinkedIn that I've built up over the years. I search for a 3D printer expert, and there's one. I'm friends with one of them. So I can like reach out and be like, hey, can I offer you a connection? But every time I do that in something specific, I look down at all the other connections that are valid and I request that connection. So I expand my network. And that is intentional of me because I want to have my network as broad as can be because, hey, I'm into a lot of stuff, It's just, anyways, that's what I was gonna say. So
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jill. That was so great. And I love the fact that you went deeper and be vulnerable enough to share with us. I love it when you said there's some days you said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And at the end of the day, you were not able to do it. Days like that are part of the journey. Days like that are part of the growth process. And one thing I've learned about being accountable on this journey is learn to have grace on yourself, because there are days that those things you say you want to do, you will not do them. Those days happen. But having grace on yourself can just let you to know that it's part of the journey, and then you can be able to move on and on. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us those deep insights and nuggets. We appreciate you and we love your sense of humor and the energy you bring each time you come up on stage. It gives a different flavor to the show. So I want to say a very big thank you. All right, all right. We already
yeah,
have amazing people join us.
everyone needs to just be a little silly, okay? Just a little sillier. It makes you feel good. Be silly. It's just in front of your mirror brushing your teeth.
Amazing, amazing. We already have Margaret Lewis join us, and Okari was here earlier. But okay, we're going to pass the mic to Mr. Eni so he can help us introduce our guests who are on stage so that they can be able to share and be part of the conversation.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Joni. It's an amazing share. I love many things you said there. And Jamie as well. I think the point about clarity comes from when you take accountability, when you take responsibility and become accountable for something, it becomes you have to be very clear what it is, right? I think you really do, and I think that say Joni made some very good points. In terms of say we can take we can be accountable for other people's actions if we choose to be. I think that's when we are coming from a good place, like the place of intentionality and really helping people. I think we can do amazing things, much like Joni did, like helping a friend, even though it wasn't her job to get up early and do anything, and it wouldn't cost her anything if this her lodger, the person that was there temporarily, didn't do what he's meant to do, but she still took on herself. That's how we change people's lives, right? Going the extra mile is what accountability looks like sometimes. Let me stop talking. I could go on about your amazing shares, both of you. Oh, now I will say, Joni, I think your go and then just do it. That is so important. Look, every day I have to do exercise with my son. And it's not a lot. It's about half an hour of lifting weights. Some days I just think, oh. But I've realized what you said is true, Joni. Literally, I just say, right, it's got to be done. I'm going to just go and do it. I'm just going to go and do it. And I go downstairs, and half an hour is done. Whereas on the other days, I procrastinate, I pontificate, and I prevaricate with myself. When I can just go out and say, I think we need to just learn to just go out and just say go and just go, just do it. If it's make that phone call, if it's call that person, whatever it is, let's learn to be action takers. I think that's part of our accountability toolkit for all of us.
And
Anyway,
Annie, I think that translates really well also into business, especially for sales. It is so hard to get into that routine of cold calling. Oh my goodness, you just feel humiliated, people hanging up on you, blah, blah, blah. But if you have that mentality, like, all right, I'm a pretty cool person. Who wouldn't want to talk to me? All right, I'm gonna do this. I like backwards count from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I pick up the phone, and it's amazing what just getting rid of that lack of anxiety can do to you, and it's shifting your mindset.
I totally agree. Again, that's positivity in action, right? Rather than expecting it to go wrong, why not expect it to go right? And amazingly, it does go right when you expect it to go right. So imagine this thing called life, right? And the thing called positivity and mindset. It's an amazing thing. Amazing things happen. Let's go to my superstar friend, my superstar sister, Superwoman. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. I'm still coping with that picture. So I'm still trying. I saw someone else when actually
Oh,
there's someone
sorry.
else. No, I said I'm interrupting you. It's me that's doing bad, right? Now, someone else I see, they turn their head and their hair is all you see, and I think, where have they gone? Where have they gone? What's that? We can see you, Miss Vargas. How are you doing?
I am blessed. I can't complain. Hello, superstar. Nice to see you here. And I was graced and blessed enough to hear Joni. I just came in, so I came in late. I was helping other people. So, hello, my brother Zion. Thank you so much again for this opportunity to speak and to asking me. It's always an honor to be here, to be doing that. And Luz, of course, beautiful Luz and her powerful shares. And Jamie, hello, hello. Okay, so accountability, right? That's what we're talking about. Wow. I always look at the pros and cons. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Always, because there's always two sides, to everything in life, and that's the balance of negativity and positivity and the energies that we live in, right? So yeah. So and I'll tell you personally, I had asked somebody to be my accountability partner before in working out and doing all that stuff. That didn't work out too well. And I just said, you know what, you don't even have to do this anymore, because I felt like I was putting too much stress. It's too much pressure. So when you ask someone to be an accountability partner, it's asking for a lot, right? Because everyone has their own lives. And so you're almost kind of having to ask for somebody who's on your same level, right? That can kind of carry you. So you start building that trust, right? And not in the trust that I'm talking about is you have to trust them to really tell you without judgment, but criticism of what, they have to critique you. Hey, you're not doing this correctly, or hey, you need to wake up, you need to do it this way, or, so it's you have to be very cautious if you ask somebody to be your accountability partner. Like, I wouldn't ask somebody who's toxic, who calls people out and stuff. But you definitely, and I like the way you said about clarity, Annie, you do have to be clear. Your message has to be concise of what your needs are, right? Of where you need to build that strength, because obviously if you're asking someone to kind of help you out, and if you're reaching out, it's what um what is it that you're lacking? What is it that you need help with? How are you going to build that strength? And the person that you ask to do this has to care about you for real. Because And I've learned how to do that self, like Joni was talking about, your self accountability. Because sometimes even your accountability partner or people are not around. I have been in in situations where I make 6 or 7 calls and 6 and 7 people cannot answer the call at that time because life is taking all of us in our journeys, right? And truth, I've called so many people and nobody could answer the call at the time. And it's like I said in my event last time, you have to reach within yourself because when nobody else is around, it's just you. It's just you. So accountability for yourself, it's powerful, but you have to know it's going to be very, it's going to get very ugly sometimes, right? It's going to be very messy. It's like your hair when you wake up in the morning. It's going to be like, whoa, all over the place. Um, and you have to be vulnerable also. You know, you can't be like have these walls and have this huge ego, and you can't come like everything's fine, it's okay, you know, I don't need help, I don't need. No, you have to be vulnerable and say, look, this is what I cannot do, this is what I need help with. If you're not positive all the time, I need help with positivity. If you're you keep a messy house, I need help with learning how to do some skills, accountability to help me clean my house on a daily or 2 3 times a day at least. It's, you know, necessary, right? And real people, they're not going to run from that. So I mean, and everybody's is all different, right? Because all walks of life are different, but you know, you have to be humble, you have to have that humility, you have to walk with grace, you have to walk through that storm, because that's what it is. Within us is a storm that always brews, it's always there, right? And like I said on my jam this morning was, where are you going to tap into? Because there's both energies that live within us, in both positive and negative. And I don't ever say, hey, you have to be positive, do the positive, positive, positive. You know what? Realistically, there's going to be negativity. So how do we, within integration, how are we going to deal with it? How are we going to do it? Accountability, it's both sides too, you know, and no sugarcoating. That's the real deal. You know, accountability is messy. It can be, on real accountability, it's like, we want the healing process, we want that responsibility, we want those hard truths, we want, you know, to build all those relationships, that's what's going to happen, right? But on the fake side, on the con side, it's going to be like, it's not going to be healthy for you, like I mentioned, that toxicity, it's going to be, you know, cause harm, it's going to be, you know, I mean, what are you trying to do? So you have to have the hard truth within yourself. What do you need to be held accountable for? Where? How? You know, and what are you going to do about it? So before you can reach out to help, you have to admit, hey, I need help in this area. You have to take a really good hard look, you know. And I love the way Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror. There you go. Okay, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, truly amazing, Margaret. You know, I met a man whose moniker is the man in the mirror. He's a business coach yesterday. So funny you bring up the concept, the man in the mirror. You know, look, amazing share, of course, Margaret. I think, you know, of course, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. You know, if
And
you don't have,
I wouldn't tell Margaret. Well, gosh, she always says the most amazing things. She is a dear friend of mine, and so you can find dear friends on here. So just, you know, keep going at it. And you know, I'll be a friend. And
of course,
I
you can.
also think that there is something inside of all of us that yearns to be happy. So you were saying accountability maybe should measure up together, but I don't necessarily know if that's true. I think you can reach into the depths of yourself and really help another person. And in turn, as no selfish deed goes unpunished, I don't know, um, that you can really do a great impact on yourself. And you never know the depths you have until you are pushed to your limit. And, my life has been pushed to the limit, definitely before, like you, Margaret.
I love you, Joe. I love you. Yeah. And,
We're
I
little
100%
girls.
agree with you, and I'm so happy you're helping your friend. It takes a lot, and this is what real humanity looks like. Joe opened up her home and accepted that, right? I have a really good friend in Ghana, Selassie, who tells me there's no homelessness out there. There's no homelessness. Homeless does not even exist out there and where he's at in Africa. Why? Because people open the homes, and in that phrase, it takes a village. They really come in. They open their homes and nobody is left out. And I see that in you. So I love that. And so yeah. So
Always.
thank you so much.
And Margaret, I got divorced, and my own parents wouldn't let me come stay with them when I was trying to sell my home, because they were like, "This is too much. You have dogs, you have kids, like blah blah." And so I have figured that out, and like get the money withdrawn from my 401k to figure it out, and still have some modicum of decency in me, and a smile on my face, because I was accountable to my kids, just like Jamie was saying. And yeah, it's amazing. I believe different cultures are a little bit better about that, and I love my parents, I really do, but they're just like, nah, it's like too messy. And so guess what? I did it. I did it. I have a 6-bedroom home. I have my own business. I have really great friends, and a lot who are here now. So you can reach in there. If I could reach in there, you can do it too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And so true, right? If you can do it, I can do it. I love those words. That was a mic drop right there, if you ask me. If I can do it, you can do it too. So thank you so much for that gentle reminder that we are powerful within. The power we're so powerful, we have no clue the ability that we have for all those things, for real. And all you have to do is just believe it. Believe it, believe it, believe it to achieve it. So yeah, so
I
thank you so
agree.
much for that. And
And
hope to see
Margaret
you
is
all at
kind of
my
my
event tonight.
accountability partner. She's
Yeah.
kind of she is. I feel down. I'm like, Margaret, what's going on?
No, we're going to leave the show to you two to do that. You're doing an amazing, you did an amazing job, amazing
I'm
show.
out.
I mean
I'm
that
out. I'm
sincerely.
out. Thank you.
Michael, welcome. Dion, welcome as well. I'm glad you're here. Look, I think there is a point in when we, as you two have alluded to, when we're accountable to others. Zion talks about the accountability partner. So many of us have someone else that we have to answer to, right? Someone else who's involved, whether that's our client, whether that's our boss, whether that's our partner. So there's other people involved in our lives, right? I think, yes, as Joni picked up, is hard, and as you mentioned as well, Margaret, it's hard to find that almost perfect way to give feedback that does not make other people feel less than. But I think we can find that way, that middle way, As a middle way, I think that way is it's about having empathy. I think it's about being kind in how we give feedback. It's about being kind in how we say, look, this is not quite right. It's not quite what we're looking for. We can have something. The plan we made was to do it at this level, not at that level. No, so I think there's a way that we can be kind and understand how people are feeling, and being sensitive, not to cause upset. Especially when we give feedback, but at the same time, I think we have to be open to feedback. You know, you mentioned being vulnerable, Margaret. I think we have to be open, you know, to other people's ideas and thoughts because we're not perfect. You know, it takes all of us. It does take all of us. It takes a village, as you say, Margaret. But like, literally, you know, it takes a team to achieve. No one achieves by themselves, right? And so when it involves other people, I think we'll do well not to be easily upset, easily rileable, easily thrown off course by someone else's opinion or feeling. You know, because ultimately, I think it's how it's said that could be done better. Sometimes because the substance is not the problem, right? You can't. Nothing frustrates more than what someone says. "Oh, I'm not listening because you upset me with the way you said it." No, get over it, please. You know, we have to get this job done somehow. We have to achieve the goal somehow. So let's work together to make that happen, right? Thank you so much, Margaret. I'm glad you're here. Jamie, I'll give you the mic.
Oh yeah,
Has-
just one thing, and then I'll stop talking.
Go,
You know,
please, feel free.
forever. But you know, check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right, like honestly, like think about what you're saying, and then make sure it comes from a place of a good spirit. Because it is so easy to hurt someone's feelings who are really down. And if you are an accountability partner, you got to give them grace. Just like Zion said, you got to give yourself grace, got to give them grace. And so, like, you know, my friend who was staying with me, he was already starting to date. And I was like, I don't think this is part of the plan yet, but okay. And come back from the day, I'm like, you get a kiss? I was like, rocks. All right, bro. Okay. All right. You're doing it. You know, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to just like encourage him to keep on his path. And so that's like a really good thing for anyone to embody who is on a work journey, who is on a spiritual journey. Just like really kind of like be like, yo, like don't be judgmental. Don't that's their journey. You support.
I agree 100. I agree 100%. I totally agree with you. You know, it's not a place to judge anyone. You know, I say, but you know, when would you come from a place of good intentions? You know, yes, sometimes we can learn to do better, but ultimately we can't lose when we come from that place of help, that place of love for the other person or for others. I think only go well when that happens. Let me welcome Dr. Dorothea before I pass the mic to Jamie quickly. Dr. Dorothea, glad you're here. So even though I'll not join the stage today, she's working on a project. I'm here for the positivity. Cheers. Thank you so much, Dr. Dorothea. I'm glad you're here. Jamie, the mic is yours. What have you dropped? A pen or the pencil?
Yeah, I dropped the pen. Sorry about that. Yes. I was just taking some notes actually on some of these things we're talking about. I mean, there's been so much good information shared, and yeah, thank you, Joe and Margaret, for sharing your thoughts. And I'm going to pass the mic over to our next speaker here. I will say next 10 minutes or so, I do have to jump off because I do have a client I have to tend to. But yeah, let's keep this conversation going and bring up Lowe's Piper is always ready to give her opinion on some of these topics we do. So Lowe's, if you want to go ahead and share your thoughts, the mic is yours.
Good evening, everybody.
Lulu. Right?
Hi, Joan.
Lulu.
Hi, Joan.
All right, Lowe's, go ahead and let's make sure
we gotta pronounce the name right.
All right, let's mute our mics. Thank you. All right, Lowe's, go ahead if you want to go ahead and share your thoughts.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Loes Pijpers from the Netherlands. And thank you, everybody, Margaret, Joan, and Annie, Zion, everybody who shared the beautiful speaking. And this Monday, April the 14th, I will celebrate my birthday. And it's in the room of Margaret. She's organizing the jam for it, birthday jam, and everybody is welcome. And you can keep me accountable for that. And about accountability for yourself and for others. It's important that you are aware of your own life, your ownership and accountability. I think you're accountable for your own life. And stay up early, make your own bed, and activate yourself for the day, because taking action is something you can do yourself, and it's not good if you are depending on taking action from someone else. Even in job search, you have to take action on things yourself to make a change in your environment and in your own life. And feedback is very important, because then with feedback you will grow. You create the opportunity to grow, give feedback, and always treat each other with humanity and respect. If you want to change minds, it's important that you having conversations with people who disagree with you, because if you're only have conversations with people who agree with you on everything, whose mind you are gonna change anyway. So it's good if you are disagree on something with others, because then you create opportunity to look at things from another kind perspective, and that's then you will grow as a person and in business, because we are all different. We have our own characters, and instead of thinking that as an obstacle, I think that's a skill to complete each other. And that makes a colorful world altogether. We can make each other stronger if we're reaching out, and what someone else is missing in a character or in a skill, we can complete that, and altogether we can act as a team, because team spirit is very important. Alone we can achieve things, but all together we can achieve more all around the world. And that's very important, because in some countries electricity or technology or water, it's not a given like in some other countries. Here in the Netherlands we have water and technology and devices, but it's not everywhere. So if we keep an eye on our environment and reach out to others, help each others, and share events. I always, when am in an event online, I think immediately who else can benefit from this information, who else can I invite, which is interested in this event. And so we share knowledge, and we multiply it, and we help others to increase and expand our network. And in job search and in everything, that's very important to help each other. And if we share things, events, and our knowledge and experiences, we can let others grow, give others credibility. I think that's so important. Put others in the spotlight. We have all our own things, struggles in life, or our own goals. But if you put others in the spotlights, and even if you're struggling yourself with something, and you are able to give another a pleasant day or a smile or drinking coffee together, then it's very important to do things together, and you help other persons. That's so important. So I think when we all do that around the world, then we create a sort of chain of positivity and accountability for your own life, for others, and taking action on that, because we say a lot of things, and in meetings and everywhere we talk, and that's very good and nice. But after everything is said and done, more often more is said than done. So sometimes we overthink things. And this evening I was in a Zoom meeting with job searchers, and sometimes we overthink too much from our why, and what if AI goes to the left or to the right in the future. And sometimes it's important to just pick up the phone, look at your contacts in your telephone, and take action. And we are thinking too much sometimes. Thinking is good, but taking action is very important. Otherwise, you can't change anything. So that's my share. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lowe's, for sharing your thoughts. And early happy birthday to you too as well. That's exciting stuff. Another year around the sun, and that's we're excited to be able to celebrate your birthday. And I'm glad to hear that's being planned. And it sounds like it'll be a party for sure. So thanks again for sharing those thoughts. And always, for even the last few weeks, I want to say, I know you've always been coming up on stage and sharing thoughts on our topics, and we always appreciate you being a part of it and reaching out to everybody and being part of this conversation. So thank you so much. Let's see. I think that I don't see anyone else that's coming up on stage, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing. But I don't see anyone else up here. So I think we're going to kind of finalize our conversation here. We're getting right to the point.
I say you one thing to Luz. Girl, I want to have coffee with you. I want to have coffee with you in person. Because, gosh, you'd be such a calming energy. I just appreciate you. So you and I plan that coffee, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Joan. I really like that. And I must say, I have a connection, Nikki Estes, and she's coming to the Netherlands in May. And we're going to visit some. Oh, yes.
I'll just
along
like under the plan. It's fine.
And I like. I think a meeting and having conversations with your connections, just like Annie always says, not just connecting, but having conversations with each other. And you don't always have to know everything about the topic, but if you have an opinion, you can share, you can talk, and you can participate on the conversation. If you treat others with humanity and respect, in your opinion, no judgment, just say what you think in a decent way, then you learn to know each other. And I think that's the purpose of connecting, not just counting your followers. Oh, I have 3 more followers now. If you don't know your followers and you have 30,000 followers, what's the meaning of that? So learn to know each other, having coffee chat, Zoom call, or whatever, call each other and learn to know each other. And then you can exchange knowledge, thoughts, and insights, and know how you can help each other. And that's so important. Thank you.
I had coffee with 5 people from LinkedIn this past weekend. So I'm real. I'll go there. So
may I say a real quick thank you to Luz for mentioning her birthday bash that I'm having on Monday for her. Thank you, Luz. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm out. Thanks.
Please send the invites. Please send the invites for this party.
Absolutely, 100%. So I just want to thank her because this is the first time she's ever asked for me to do a birthday jam. So I'm really excited about this. Probably one of many. So thank you again, everyone.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. No, thank you all for, like I said, chiming in, and then just, I love the camaraderie and just how everyone plays off each other and whatnot. So I appreciate you all sharing your thoughts on our topic here. And I'm going to go ahead and jump off here just because I do have a client that I'm meeting with here. But, once again, it's been an awesome positivity call. I'm glad to be back, like I said, and I know that we're going to have another good topic to talk about next week. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Annie and Zion here so they can go ahead and share some last thoughts on today's topic, and then we we can go ahead and everyone can get on and have a great weekend. All right. And thank you again for everyone being here.
You too, Jamie. Have a great weekend, my friend. We're literally about to go, so you stay to the end. Thank you so much, Jamie. Have a great
You got
weekend.
it. You too.
Mrs. Z, are you there?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. All right. Thank you so much, Jimmy. I know he's already out. Ladies, Jill, Margaret, and Mr. Amy. It's been a great conversation today, even as we dive into the power of accountability. So much nugget has been shared. For those who are just joining us, want to say a big thank you and welcome to the show. If you're not able to catch up, you can watch the replay so you can be able to get the nugget and our shares on the power of accountability, because each and every one of us has to embrace it. And it is important that we are accountable, not just to ourselves, but to other persons as well. And I love what Liz mentioned about connecting with people and getting to know one another. That's what humanity is all about. And that's how we can make the real impact and make the world a better place. And I will just end with this. The purpose of us hosting this event every Friday is to bring more awareness about the means of positivity, why we should embrace positivity and the transformative power that it can bring. We believe that everyone can be possible. And one way for us to intentionally share the positivity is to spread more love, more kindness, more compassion, more empathy. We get to support each other in any way that we can. Somebody in your network might need help, might need you to do something for them. No, go out there, make the impact, spread more love. There is no love too small not to make an impact. There is no kindness too small not to make an impact. So, in whatever you do, as you pursue your professional growth, as you pursue your personal growth, always look out for people, do it to support people, help people as much as you can. Because by doing so, you're going to make much more positive impact in the world. And let's not forget, this event holds every Friday. Next week, Friday, is another edition where we are intentional about positivity, and it's going to be another interesting topic. So look forward to that. For as many of us who are here, don't worry, we're going to be getting a personalized invite, so you can join us again next week, Friday, as we continue to spread more positivity. So with that, I want to say a great weekend to everyone. We appreciate you. Nasi, just join us. Thank you, Jay. Wisdom, Andren, Yasin, happy birthday to Liz. Les, your birthday is on Monday. We're looking forward to join you to celebrate you, because you are doing an amazing thing in this network. We appreciate you. Kate Jones, you say, hey, Joe, and everyone else. Kate, we see you. We appreciate you. And thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Yes, Adrian just took that away from my mouth. He said, have a great weekend, everyone. Indeed. Have a good weekend. And
Thank
see you next week, Friday. All right, guys. I'll never forget, in positivity, there's endless possibilities for us.
beautifully said, as you always do, Mrs. Z. Look, thank you, our Facebook friends, Zion's Facebook friends especially. Endurance is one of them. Say Oliver is another one. I think Yorevo as well. There's many great people here from Facebook. Benedict, Pascal, Faith, that's Zion's sister. I'm glad you're here. Umuna, I see you as well. Thank you all for joining us on Facebook. So Funmi, of course, we see you as well. Thank you all. Have I missed anyone on LinkedIn? Keith, I don't know if we mentioned you. There's Hi Joe and everyone else. Thank you all for joining us. Look, I love Lo's mention of teams. I think that I want to leave you with that as the perfect way to look at accountability, right? In a team, now normally we have different team roles. People have different roles, right? There's someone who does the admin, someone who does the encouraging, someone who does the creativity, someone who does the pushing. So there's different team roles. But the team that really works is a team where everyone takes responsibility and becomes accountable. It means we'll do whatever is needed to make this team work and help this team achieve the results. That is true accountability. I love that, Liz. Great point to make, my friend. So Obia, of course, we'll see you as well here, Jeremiah. Thank you for joining us. You're never too late. If you miss any of our shows, my friends, do go along and watch the replay. The replays are there. Look, go through the comments. Nikki, if I haven't mentioned you, of course I see you. I'm glad you're here. Nikki, you see us too clearly, right? So, my friends, enjoy your weekend. So go to the comments section after the event, and please engage with the comments, and then connect with people who you resonate with, who you want to know more about. That's how you build your network. As Lou said, we're accountable for building the network and making the friends that we need to get support that we need, right? So enjoy your weekend, everyone. Luz, happy birthday for Monday. Do invite me to your party. I'd love to come along for sure.
I want you to. Happy birthday, Liz. And anyone who's feeling like it's the weekend and then you're maybe going to self-isolate or something, guess what? The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow it'll be there. I would go on, but I'm not going to. Because the sun will come out tomorrow for all of you guys. And Luz, love you.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about your book tomorrow. No, tomorrow, Joni.
Okay, it's Saturday.
Eventually, Joni.
I might be self-isolating. Who knows?
You do that. Because I'm chasing you to get your book done.
Okay.
So bye, everyone. Do enjoy. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Everybody is invited for Monday.
Excellent. It was a great party. Bye, everyone.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with global.media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with global.media.com.